Camera bags suck. They're overpriced, over-engineered, and a lot of the time they lock you into carrying your gear in ways that just don't work. I've decided to ditch camera bags altogether. Instead, I use a normal backpack and modular pouches, and honestly, it works way better. After a year of use, I'd take this over any real camera bag on the market. Today I'm going to show you what bag I use, what gear I carry, how I pack it, and why modular packing beats camera bags every time. By the end of this video, I might just convince you to ditch your camera bag too. And just to be clear, apart from some of the audio gear that I'll mention later in the video, everything here I either bought myself with my own money or got as a gift from friends or family. With that said, there will be affiliate links in the description if you want to check any of this stuff out. My bag is the Air Travel Pack 3 Small Ultra, which I bought on Black Friday last year. This isn't a camera bag, it's a modern everyday carry backpack with a minimalist layout. The main compartment is basically one big open space, designed for modular packing with pouches and containers. I'll readily admit I used to rely on bags with way more built-in organization, and I was skeptical of the so-called pouch life, but it's really grown on me. The comfort of this backpack is excellent. I've carried what I consider to be a heavy load, about 21.8 pounds of mostly camera gear plus clothes for a weekend, through the airport with no issues. No problems fitting it into the overhead bin either. I also really appreciate the external water bottle holder, which just barely fits a 1000ml Nalgene, the multiple quick access pockets, the structure and rigidity of the bag itself, it stands upright on its own most of the time, and the durability of the Ultra material. This thing has already fallen out of my wife's SUV onto the driveway twice, and it barely shows. Plus, the contents of the bag at the time of the fall are none the worse for wear. It's not perfect, though. The zippers on the main compartment are a little stiff on my copy, and I'd prefer more organization in the admin compartment, or at least a different layout with pen slots and/or subdivided pouches. But overall, this bag works great as the backbone of a modular camera setup. In the main compartment, I keep my primary camera pouch, which is actually an old Domkey sling that my friend found for me at Goodwill. I just removed the sling strap and now use it as a protective insert for my Sony a6700. The a6700 is a fantastic hybrid body. You get great ergonomics, the same excellent 6K sensor as the FX30 downsampled to 4K, and Sony's latest AI autofocus chip. The only real drawback is overheating, but in practice it's been a non-issue for me 90% of the time. You basically only see it if you're shooting 4K 120 for 20 minutes straight, or if you're combining 4K 60 or 4K 24 with HDMI and wireless monitoring for extended periods. Shooting 4K alone, I've recorded for over an hour straight in a toasty hotel basement in the middle of a summer without the camera overheating. This pouch fits the camera with all my current lenses attached, including the Sigma 17-40mm f1.8, which is a real beast of a lens. If you haven't seen my first impressions video on that lens yet, you should definitely check it out. I also keep an ND filter from K&F Concept, which I've covered in another video, an SD card case also from K&F Concept, because I've been burned too many times for getting a spare SD card, and a really useful multi-tool from Small Rig and Film Riot. There are a few other items that may or may not find their way into the main compartment of the bag depending on the shoot day. If I need to bring more than just the Sigma 17-40, I have this great backpack insert from Tenba. You can customize the layout of this organizer to fit different lenses and other accessories using these Velcro dividers. You've also got an internal zippered pocket for small items, a sturdy handle, and stretch mesh pockets on either side. I can fit both of my Viltrox f1.2 Pro lenses in here and still have room for other items like Sony NPF batteries or this K&F Concept Sony FC100 battery charger. If I'm planning on shooting video, I'll also bring this PGY Tech organizer with my Viltrox DC-X2 video monitor inside. I really need to do a full review of this video monitor at some point, but the short version is that I think it's robust, affordable, and feature-packed, even if the only reason that I bought it was that the mounting points have ARRI locating pins, the absence of which on the Viltrox DC550 that I previously owned really bothered me. I also keep the Ulanzi CU01 camera cooler that I reviewed here on the channel in here, plus this excellent NATO top handle from Nitzy, an f22 quick release monitor mount from Ulanzi, and a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. Finally, I've got a couple of arcane concerted arc bands in here for cable management. Honestly though, I think the pouch itself has room for improvement. One issue I've encountered is that while the pouch has a lot of structure and is presumably durable and robust in its construction, it doesn't have much stretch or expandability to it. So if you take advantage of all the small pockets and inserts inside the pouch, in addition to filling up its main cavities with large items, you're going to have a really hard time getting the pouch to close. I might swap this out for something a little bit more flexible down the line as a result. If I need audio, I can also bring this pouch here, which holds my Comica VM20 shotgun mic, a cold shoe shock mount that I've attached the Fallcam F22 quick release attachment point to for easy disassembly, a 3.5 stereo to dual XLR cable, and the Zoom F3 32-bit audio recorder. I talked about this a bit in my A6700 rig video, but this is a great budget setup as long as you're willing to work the raw audio in post. I've run the VM20 mounted off of a side handle, and the Zoom F3 mounted to the back of my Nitsy top handle via the same kind of Fallcam F22 quick-release monitor mount that I used for the Viltrox DCX2, thanks to this backplate from SmallRig, which greatly expands your mounting options. I've also got a variety of short and long 3.5mm audio cables in here, just in case I want to record straight into the camera, and an Arca Swiss plate that I've got a Fallcam F22 quick-release receiver mounted to, just in case I want to set up a mini tripod with the shotgun mic and handle my audio off-camera. A further different option would be the Scorp C Gimbal. I reviewed the Mark II version here on the channel recently, and I was pretty mixed on it, mostly because despite a number of improved quality of life features, the base stabilization performance just wasn't there. With that said, I do very much like the original version on the rare occasions that I need to opt for a gimbal, and it's small enough to fit in the bag alongside the Domkey camera pouch. If you're interested in the changes between the Mark I and the Mark II, check out my full review linked up in the corner. Finally, on a non-camera note, I often keep this GameSir X5 Lite controller in here as well. This is a remarkably affordable USB-C controller with Hall effect joysticks that I pretty much just use to play Morrowind on my phone. Alright, let's move on to the rest of the bag. One advantage and sometimes disadvantage of this bag is just how many quick access pockets there are. Honestly, I forget about some of them a lot of the time. On the front pocket, I keep lens cloths and a Nextool mini multi-tool tethered to the integrated lanyard with an S-beaner. It's surprisingly handy. I've used the scissors and the Phillips head screwdriver more than I would have expected to. This side pocket is one I normally forget about, but I keep a collapsible waterproof hat in there, which was actually a Christmas gift from my grandma. Definitely could be a lifesaver in the rain. The top pocket is mostly audio gear. I keep a nice hack cloth IEM case that holds my IO Audio Volare with a custom Zins Shadow Warrior cable. I had Zins make me a custom version of this cable with interchangeable terminations, 3.5mm, 4.4mm, and 2.5mm. For DAC amps, I usually carry either the Moondrop Dawn Pro or the Moondrop Echo B, which are both plenty powerful and resolving for portable use, although both are 4.4mm only. Just in case, I also carry the Tangeme Space Lite for 3.5mm and a 4.4 to 3.5mm adapter as a redundancy. Moving to the laptop compartment, right now I'm still using a very old, very plasticky Dell gaming laptop that's in the process of disintegrating. I'm probably replacing it with my Christmas bonus this year. It still charges with a DC barrel plug AC adapter, unfortunately, but my work laptop charges via USB-C, so I keep a 2-meter, 2-key USB-C cable and a 65-watt RAVPower PD charger in the zippered pocket above the laptop compartment. I also carry a short USB-A to micro USB cable for emergencies. And speaking of emergencies, I clip a stubby ARC band to the external D-ring on the bag. You never know when something like that might come in handy. Now let's talk about the admin panel, and this is where I have some mixed feelings. The zippers to this compartment don't open all the way down like they do on the main compartment, and the organization is just okay. Like I said earlier, I'd prefer more subdivisions for small items. Here's what I keep in there. For backup power, an Anker 533 10,000 mAh power bank, compact 30-watt output, 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port with a smart display for charge status and runtime. I keep a 1-meter USB-C cable in there too. Since it has 30-watt output, it can handle keeping my 24-watt newer inflatable tube light topped up. I will be making a whole video going over that light and my whole portable key light setup very soon, so please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I also carry my personal everyday medical items in here. My EpiPen, inhaler, and the nebulizer live in this rear sleeve. I also recently added a WayKit Amenity Kit 2, an anniversary gift that I'm building out into a boo-boo kit. Right now it just has over-the-counter pain meds and bandages, but I plan to expand it into a real IFAK with chest seals, QuickClot, gauze, and so on. I also just moved my Snakestaff Systems EDC tourniquet into this pouch as well. I know one is none, but having one tourniquet on me is better than not having one at all if I ever need one. I also carry a Well-Tool handheld light with the LH1 head. It puts out about 90,000 candela, which means a super bright hotspot with serious throw. It runs on an 18350 rechargeable battery, and it has a simple 2-mode UI, on or off, which I prefer for emergencies over a more admin-focused light with a more complicated user interface. Finally, I've got some chapstick and a glasses cleaner in this other pocket. So yeah, that's my camera bag, or more accurately, my not a camera bag. The Air Travel Pack 3 Small Ultra plus modular pouches covers everything I need. Camera gear, audio gear, medical kit, and random travel junk, all without locking me into the compromises of a traditional camera bag. For me, modular packing is much more flexible than a purpose-built camera bag any day of the week. If you've been on the fence about ditching the foam dividers and going modular, take this as your sign. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. I appreciate it more than you know. Until next time, this is Bedrock Reviews, signing off.